During its first decade, Walt Disney World was anchored by one theme park, the Magic Kingdom. But in 1982, the doors were opened to Epcot.
Epcot is probably our most real-world park of all the things that we have at Walt Disney World, and it's due in part to Walt Disney's fascination with the world.
Epcot was Walt's vision for a utopian city of the future, with a little touch of Disney.
Epcot gave us a new opportunity for our storytelling because we were taking real-world subjects and trying to make magical experiences from them.
So many people think that Epcot's not for kids, but there's really so much for children to do there.
I just saw kids over near the aquarium, and they were so excited. They were pointing out to their parents, we've got to go here, we've got to go here, we've got to go here. It's definitely a great place for kids.
The most exciting and by far the most important part of our Florida project will be our experimental prototype city of tomorrow. We call it Epcot.
Future World and World Showcase were concepts for two different parks. Then, in one pivotal moment, it all came together.
We knew we didn't have two projects. So John Hench and I, we got on each end of two models and we pushed them together, and that became Epcot.
And Epcot, in a sense, is a synergy of those two things that Walt was fascinated with. You have Future World, which is really focused on technology and how it will change our lives in the future. And you have the World Showcase, which is a celebration of cultures and the global community that we have.
For World Showcase, picture-perfect pavilions representing various countries were created with fanatical attention to detail.
For example, the Moroccan pavilion, the King of Morocco sent his personal architect to work with us and make sure that all the details were correct.
In October of 1982, Epcot opened. It was a radical departure from the Magic Kingdom, and at 260 acres, more than twice the size.
When they first opened, they had a rough time getting the message across as what it was. And a lot of people said, all this is just a World's Fair. And the Disney officials kept saying, no, it's much, much more.
Walt Disney World knew Epcot had to change, to evolve. The world's largest man-made ocean environment and a 3D special effects show kept the turnstiles turning. But it still wasn't enough. To solidify Epcot as a destination for all ages, one final and essential ingredient was needed.
Through the years, they realized that the people that come to Disney wanted thrill rides.
So Disney gave the people what they wanted. One of Epcot's early attractions, the World of Motion, got a facelift. And some knuckles. White knuckles. In 1999, Test Track blew the hood off Epcot, taking guests through punishing vehicle production tests. In 2003, Mission Space took off and virtually redefined the category of thrill ride.
So you can be a pilot, you can be a commander, you can be a navigator, you can be an engineer.
A booming rocket launch to Mars, Mission Space feels astonishingly realistic.
It's when those rockets ignite and you start to lift off of the Earth's surface. Your body feels pushed back into the seat. The entire capsule is shaking and rumbling, and you start to see those clouds go by as you race off into space.
Some say Mission Space is the most thrilling ride they've ever experienced. For some, maybe a little too thrilling. So now the park offers two versions of the mission: the original ride and an option for those who prefer a milder experience. This marks the first time Disney has ever offered two variations of the same ride.
By offering a second version of Mission Space, we hope to broaden the attraction's appeal and offer a chance for even more guests to experience it.
Back on Earth and at Epcot, you can find one of Disney's most innovative attractions. It's called Soarin', an astonishingly realistic and immersive hang gliding ride. This #1 attraction at Disney's California Adventure was such a success that Disney decided to take it back east.
Our guests were demanding that we bring Soarin' to Epcot.
You get a little thrill right at the beginning when you're sitting there in a subdued seat and it goes whoa and it swings you out and you wonder if you're going to keep going.
You tilt a little bit, you move with the scenery. It's really like you're going through the shot.
The demands of such an attraction presented all sorts of challenges for Disney's Imagineers.
We had to figure out how to get the people up there. So I came up with what I thought was a relatively simple mechanism, so I decided maybe I would make a little model. And then I remembered I had an old erector set. After about 2 hours, I came up with a little model that I could crank in place of an electric motor, and I could show how there could be a row of seats on a ground level and how they could soar back up into a screen.
Out of the skies and into the seas. The Living Seas had opened to great fanfare in Epcot's early days. But even the world's largest man-made ocean environment needs a little overhaul from time to time. And so the new relationship with Pixar was called upon, transforming the Living Seas into a Nemo-themed pavilion. The star attraction here? The Seas with Nemo and Friends.
The Seas with Nemo and Friends is an attraction based on the film Finding Nemo that we put in what was formerly known as the Living Seas, and we've completely transformed the pavilion with this attraction.
Picking up where the film left off, the ride-through attraction takes guests through a colorful coral reef setting.
The Seas with Nemo and Friends allows our guests to travel beneath the seas and meet the characters that they know and love from the movie in a context that fits in the Epcot setting.
Our guests board what we call clam-mobiles and go into Nemo's world.
Here, animated characters swim amid real marine life in a 5.7 million gallon saltwater environment.
It was extremely challenging to do that. It took us about 2 years of mocking it up and getting this effect just right, and then working with the animators up at Pixar to produce the animation in such a way that it felt natural in this environment. So it was quite a process.
As part of the Seas with Nemo and Friends, you can dive into the digital deep with Crush, the totally awesome sea turtle from Finding Nemo.
Oh, check out that most excellent double spinner, dudes. That was awesome.
In Turtle Talk with Crush, you get to talk to Crush. He's actually there taking your questions. He'll interact with the kids on the floor.
And their reaction is as if they had seen Santa Claus and talked with him for the first time. It's just tremendous.
That's right, bro. This digital dude talks, jokes, and even recognizes the guests hanging out with him. Grab some shell and dive into a righteous, unrehearsed chat with the Crush Man.
Yeah, look at all the humans in the human tank.
So Turtle Talk really is interactive. It's live. You never know what he's going to say.
Hey, I want to say hi to some of these dudes. Gonna start with this dude right here in the short sleeve orange shell. Yeah, what's your name, little dude?
Matthew.
Matthew, excellent.
Turtle Talk with Crush came out of a program we call the Living Character Initiative, a program we did with our R&D group to find new ways of using technology to allow our guests to interact with the characters.
With Turtle Talk, in this particular instance, the technology came first. Crush is the perfect character to interact with. He's been around 150 years. He knows a lot. He's funny. He's engaging. So we started to develop a show specifically for him using that technology.
What? This is for dudettes? That's totally embarrassing, dude.
So he said, "What up, dude? Give me some fin." He was funny, and he also told us that we needed to say dude for the rest of the day.
But But Epcot was still only the beginning. When we come back, Disney goes to the movies. And thrill rides become the name of the game. And later, lions, tigers, and Yetis? Disney's biggest thrills when we come back.